Hello and welcome to, it's actually Star Wars Episode 4, which was the first one, but that doesn't make much sense. Let's just call it Star Wars A New Hope. My name's stencil artist Yan, and this is my co-host Peephole Circus.
Hello.
Would you like to hear quite an interesting fact about Star Wars A New Hope?
Yes, please.
You know, at the beginning of the film, where there's C-3PO, and they've landed on Tatooine, crash landed. Then they walk past the corpse. I believe it was called a Greater Kryat Dragon.
Yeah, the big skeleton, big with a long back, spine, long back.
Yeah, that medical description that you just used there. Yeah, That's still there now.
Well, I suppose it's been there for a long time, isn't it? So
no, it's not a real animal. They made it, and then it was just left in the desert.
So one day, somewhere, when the aliens come down after we're all gone, they're going to dig at this thing with the long back.
Yes.
Like, wow.
Why is there only one skeleton of this creature? It's the only one in the world.
Well, yeah, that probably ate everything else. He must have been the winner.
The reason I know this is because they went back to the area to film Attack of the Clones.
All right, yeah.
So the crew actually went back there, and it's there still.
Did they dig her up by accident?
I think it was just the crew went there, and they went, you know what, I think it's the same place where that thing was.
Yeah.
But I don't know if their time team with Tony Robinson showed up.
That'd be great.
Sure. That would be. Imagine that in like 200 years' time. They're like, we found this.
Well, he'd be dead by then, wouldn't he? Be like, God, at least 80 by that time.
Well, you'd think. You'd think at least 80. That was my first fun fact.
Interesting.
It's a good start, I thought, for the show. Would you like to know where George Lucas was when the film premiered back in 1977?
America.
It's a part of America, but he was actually in Hawaii with his friend, Steven Spielberg. They thought the film was going to be a flop, and so they were working on Raiders of the Lost Ark. They didn't even bother to show up.
No, I wouldn't have bothered either. But Raiders of the Lost Ark, that was a flop as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Double flop there. I'm surprised people think he's such a good director.
Yeah, no wonder he got the sack from the new ones.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need this guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. So, yeah, I was surprised by that. I would have thought you would have shown up to see your own film, wouldn't you?
Well, he's probably seen it a bunch of times already. He'd already been working on the prequels by then.
Ah, I see what you mean. He's like, I've seen this film. I don't need to see it again.
Been there, done that.
Got the T-shirt, literally, and the toy.
Yeah, now I'm filming Indiana Jones.
There's a bit in, what's the second Indiana Jones film?
Temple of Doom.
Yeah. You know, is it in Shanghai at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it's in there. There's a bit where it looks like there's R2-D2 and C-3PO in like a drawing or a painting on the wall.
I thought that was in on the wall in the first one. But at the pub they drink in Shanghai, isn't it called like the Obi-Wan or something?
Yes, that's it. That's where I'm getting confused. Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I
knew there was a connection there somewhere.
Trust your instinct.
Trust in the Force. So you'll like this fun fact. I know you.
Go for it.
In the early drafts of the script, R2-D2 spoke English.
He already does speak English, doesn't he?
Well, R2-D2?
Yeah.
He speaks in beeps and whistles.
Yeah, but you hear him in your mind as English, don't you?
Well, this is it. They wrote all of his lines as real lines.
Oh, so who did the voice for R2 then?
Would have been, is it Kenny Baker?
Kenny Baker doesn't whistle that well.
Yeah, but that's why, when people talk to him, it's because in the script there was real words there. So he actually spoke to them. It probably was Danny Baker not Danny Baker, that's the guy who used to do the radio show.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. It may have been Kenny Rogers from 321 talking to him, and then they dubbed in the beeps and the whistles afterwards.
So you're telling me that he had lines, but instead of saying them, Kenny Baker just whistled them, and they thought, well, I like the sound of this.
No, I think he said the words back So there'd be a version.
In the West.
No, there'd be a version where R2D2 speak in English to everybody.
I'd like to see that version. Is Kenny Baker inside the suit at the time?
What, inside the R2D2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense, really, doesn't it?
You'd be inside and they'd be talking to him. But allegedly, some of these words he used were quite fruity. And that's why C-3PO's reactions were a bit like, stupid robot and all of this, because it was kind of like, it was a bit aggro.
That's why he kicks him in his third leg sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be interesting to see what was actually said.
I'd like to see that. I hope they put it out. We need a restored version.
Release the Baker cut. Yeah, the Lucas cut.
Release the Lucas cut. I'd love to see him do something like that, would you?
That would be awesome. And have it with like the original graphics, not with that weird Jabba the Hutt. Instead of, when Jabba the Hutt was a guy.
Yeah, watch that.
Yeah.
Eating a frog and everything.
They must have, because the first one he was. So they must have, when they got to number 3, did they think, do we want to bring the guy back? And they must have storyboarded it with the guy. And
even if Jabba was there, they probably have to put him in anyway, just because of the rights issues.
That's true. And he owns that big sail barge. That's not cheap to keep running that.
No.
My favourite part out of that whole film is the prison block scene.
Yeah, me too.
When Han Solo gets on the intercom after they have the firefight, and he's like, "It's fine, everything's fine. How are you?"
Yeah, he starts cringing and everything.
Yeah, that was all. That was all ad hoc. There wasn't any lines written for that.
Ah, so that's C-3PO was doing it. Sorry, R2 was doing it. Han Solo was doing it. I wonder who else.
Well, allegedly, when it was Harrison Ford and Mark Hamill on set, they would always joke around a lot. But when Alec Guinness, because he was such a heavyweight actor, they were like, "Oh, we can't be mucking around anymore." So I guess there's a lot of outtakes with those two just mucking about.
But I also heard Alec Guinness was right, wrong, and
really,
well, it could have been.
Well, it could have been.
I've seen him in Lady Killers.
Yeah, that's true. He's good at building bridges, though. It's controversial about him. Some people say, and he said himself, that he didn't like being in the film. But then other people have said later on, he said, and other people, like, he enjoyed being there and he liked being around the cast and crew. So I think maybe there was him on set enjoyed it, but because he was like a professional, serious actor, when afterwards he was a bit like, well, I don't want to say I really enjoyed it.
I remember years ago I had a book. It's a book. It might have been it was an autobiography.
Yeah.
I think it was called The Name Escapes Me, something like that.
Mm.
But I'm sure he talked about it in there, but he didn't like it. But miserable bastard.
Well, allegedly he was going to be written into he was upset that he was written out because he died in the first one.
Nobody really dies in Star Wars, do they?
Not anymore. Not anymore, especially the new ones where people just keep coming back. Even if you see a massive explosion and you go, "Oh no, Chewie's died in the transport. Da 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 da." It's the wrong transport ship.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'll like this one. This one, did you know there was almost a war started because of the filming of A New Hope?
No, where?
Yeah.
In Britain, you mean?
No, in Tunisia, where they filmed it.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I want to read this because I want to get this right. The Libyan government, next door to Tunisia, became worried about a massive military vehicle parked near the Libyan border and thought the Tunisians were going to invade.
I can guess what ship or what vehicle that was.
Yeah. Consequently, the Tunisian government received threats of military mobilization from the Libyans and had to ask Lucas to move his Jawa sandcrawler away from the border.
It's an impressive vehicle, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah, it's about 5 stories. Well, it's like an apartment block, isn't it, on its side? It's ginormous.
Yeah. A bus.
Triple decker, like a bit better than the one in Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, much better.
But yeah, it actually almost started a war.
Cool.
I thought that was quite cool.
Would they have called that the Star Wars?
Oh, only after it had filmed and people had seen it. Because they would have to come up with some other name, wouldn't they? Because they wouldn't know it was called Star Wars while it was in production.
If it was a real war going on, Imagine being George Lucas, but I'm gonna get in on this action. Just head on up there like a land speeder.
Yeah.
All the people be going, oh, what kind of magic is this? What the aliens have taken over?
Well, you get all your stormtroopers, don't you? You get all the
Yeah,
stormtroopers
yeah,
to
yeah.
pile out there. They'd be like, "Who the hell are these guys?"
It would have been
And
much better.
be much more fun to watch on the news. Imagine that, like the RAF helicopter flying overhead, and there's some stormtroopers shooting at it.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Well, we need more of that. Actual stormtroopers in the news. Why not?
Just randomly showing up in different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have them in the background somewhere, just wandering around, checking people
Patrolling.
wearing their masks and stuff.
Yes.
This one, it's not really a fact. It would have been quite obvious, but the Chewbacca suit retained a terrible smell for the duration of filming after the trash compactor scene. So they only had one suit.
Oh God! So at what point did they film that in production? Then please don't tell me early on.
Well, it would have been reasonable, probably quite early on, because they had to. That set was only used for like that one scene, so they would have to clear the soundstage, wouldn't they?
Well, I think it makes sense. He should have smelt. Maybe he was. What was his name now? Peter Mayhew.
Oh, yes, it was like 7'3" or something.
He seemed like a cool guy. He was. I remember he was on Reddit, and like him and his wife were on there, and you could just chat to him. He had his own little subreddit.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
He used to be the Green Cross Code guy.
No, I thought that was Darth Vader.
Was that Darth Vader? Oh, who was he?
Robert Prowse, something like that.
And
Something
he
Prowse,
was
David Prowse.
David Prowse, wasn't he? Like a? Did he have a Bristol accent or like?
Oh God, yeah, but yeah, he did have something like that. Because they got his voice in the edit as well, isn't it? Because he dubbed in with the lion guy.
Yeah, Samuel. No, James Earl
No,
Jones.
James Earl Jones. That was it.
Yeah. I was going to, for some reason, say Samuel Pepys, which is completely different thing at all.
We're going to sell what do you call it, Samuel Jackson.
Samuel Jackson, yeah, that would have been an interesting take on Darth Vader.
It would have, wouldn't it? But they stuck him on in another one, didn't they?
Number 2 and 3?
Yeah. One of the first 3.
Yeah. Yeah, so in theory, there is a cut out there, like you were saying, where you've got Darth Vader talks with like a pirate's accent. R2D2 talks like Kenny Baker.
Yeah.
And you've got a big old stinking old Chewbacca suit.
Nasty.
Interestingly, though, the executives weren't happy with Chewbacca. I don't know if this was connected to the smell, but they weren't happy with him because he wasn't wearing any clothes and they wanted him to wear shorts.
That would have been stupid. I mean, or maybe if he had on them really short 80s kind of shorts as well. Or maybe
like Daisy Dukes.
The jean jorts with his ass cheeks, just a little cheeky look.
But that would give a completely different angle, especially to the furries.
It's even more sexy than if you took them off, isn't it? Because it suggests nothing then. But once you start putting items of clothing, you think, oh, what's underneath that?
Yes, it brings the mystery in.
It does. I'll never look at that Chewbacca the same again.
I wish they'd done what they did with Winnie the Pooh and Donald Duck.
What's that?
And gave him a top. Just gave him a shirt.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, just walking around with nothing on the bottom, but you're wearing a top because you're chilly or for reasons I don't know. Yeah, and a hat if you're Donald Duck. Does he wear shoes as well?
Well, ducks don't wear shoes, do they? I mean, even in cartoons, they got like flappy things. What are they called?
Webbing, webbed.
Webbed toes. They're still toes.
Daisy Duck, I'm pretty sure wears shoes.
Right, I thought she had the shorts on as well.
She does have shorts on as well.
Kinky.
Did she have so hang on a minute, why is Donald Duck walking around with no trousers on when his girlfriend is wearing short shorts as well?
Yeah, and he shaves his legs.
He does shave his legs. Maybe he's into cycling.
Getting hooked up with Chewbacca.
Yeah, exactly. We're going a bit off topic here, but yeah, they wanted him to wear a pair of shorts. I like the idea of the jeans shorts on him.
At the front, you see the pockets dangling down, do you know?
Yes. Yeah, that's how short they are. That's like emphasising the shortness.
Oh, yeah.
This one's actually quite sad and makes me feel sorry for Kenny Baker.
Oh God, go on.
Kenny Baker has often said that when the cast and crew broke for lunch, they would forget he was in the R2D2 outfit and leave him behind on set.
That's a problem, isn't it? Because like, what do you do if you're in there? But maybe if he spoke English instead of done that bleeping and whistling, they would have come and got him.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's his own fault.
It's his own fault. You've got no sympathy for him.
Nah, none whatsoever.
Well, yeah, exactly. If he spoke up a bit more, he could have kept his lines as well.
That's
if he'd
true.
spoken up a bit more. Maybe that's why they cut his lines, because he was muffled.
That's it. None of these people learned from what do you call him, Paul Daniels, C-3PO, not Paul Daniels. You know what I mean?
Anthony Daniels.
Anthony Daniels, yeah.
Yes, very thin man.
Yeah, and but it's but a strange way to speak. And then they kept him in, the most annoying out of all of them.
And that's his real voice as well.
Yeah, he's the one person I wish would whistle and beep. I would rather hear Kenny Baker, Danny Baker. No, but Kenny Baker.
Danny Baker's voice would have been excellent though if they dubbed him in.
What, C-3PO?
Yes, I would like, and they should have had Anthony Daniels do R2D2 to just really confuse things.
And what if Darth Vader spoke like R2D2 when, like, show me the rebel base, instead of that, he'd be like, terrifying.
Well, in theory, he would, because he got caught on fire.
Yeah, that's true.
So didn't they have to put like a voice modulator in?
Yes, the harmonica thing, isn't it?
Yeah, because at the end of number 6, he takes it off and he's got a different voice. We're getting ahead of ourselves here, talking about number 6.
Yeah. So old Darth Vader.
Yes.
I like him.
Right.
He's one of the good ones.
One of the good ones. He's one of the good guys, Darth Vader.
He's misunderstood.
He is misunderstood. If you ever watched Lego Star Wars, I think they've got a soft spot for him. The Lego Star Wars cartoons and the films, because they always make him seem really cool in them.
They would. I haven't seen them.
They're quite good fun. Obviously, they're for children, but they are quite good fun. Going back to George Lucas out in Hawaii, can't be bothered to show up for his own film.
Yeah.
He's just kicking back, thinking about making Raiders of the Lost Ark. He's had enough of that already. Sick of it. He's seen it like 20 times. He's like, how many other times do I have to see this film? I've seen it.
Yeah.
We've cut out Danny Baker talking. We've cut out the pirate talking as Darth Vader. We brought in somebody else. I've seen all these different versions. Only 40 theatres in the US agreed to show it.
Don't blame him.
It
sounds stupid. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? It sounds ridiculous. And it does sound awful. Like, if you try to explain it, and of course we all know special effects now, so when you say it, like, people understand. But back then, that kind of level wasn't there. So you explain it, and people probably just went like, what a load of shit.
Exactly. What a load of old shit. Yeah. Only 40 places wanted to show it. Man,
I bet they were like, can you imagine being there and like a few people watch it, and then you see the next few and then the same, and then by the next day, that word of mouth like spread, and like lines grow, and you're like, oh, something's going on here. 40 cinemas, man.
Yeah. And so Fox had to threaten the cinema companies. They would
with death.
They had to threaten them that they wouldn't allow, if they didn't show Star Wars, they wouldn't be given the rights to screen, and see if you've ever heard of this film, because I haven't, The Other Side of Midnight.
Can't say I have.
Neither have I. Allegedly, it was going to be a big film. I've never heard of it.
Isn't this the same tactic that Disney are doing now, though? I remember them doing that with the cinemas when they're first. We'll speak about that when we get to them. But yeah. Not a new tactic.
No. But yeah, so like you say, imagine that you've got this cinema and you're like, we've got to show this stupid Star Wars film. Who knows? It's got this big bear in it, and it's got this guy from England who goes, "Hello there." Oh no, he doesn't say that in that one, does he? Oh, he does.
I think he does. Does he? No, he does go, "Hello, Darth."
He does. I'm sure. It's like his catchphrase. He's hello, and then another word.
It is. It's like, "Hello, Darth." He does do that little speech, doesn't he? There.
Yeah. So this Other Side of Midnight film.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why is hello his catchphrase? I mean, that's a pretty low bar, isn't it? You could say that about any one of us.
You could. It's not that memorable, but for some reason, Obi-Wan Kenobi is known by "Hello there."
It could have been goodbye. How you could say any of us have that catchphrase because it's not like you wait for the end of a conversation. We finish the conversation and then we're like, wait for it, goodbye. Oh, wait a minute. There is actually that is your catchphrase, isn't it?
It is
Good
one of my
night.
catchphrases. Good night.
I'll say no more.
Hang on, I'm just thinking, does anybody else in Star Wars ever say hello? Maybe he's invented it.
It is because it's a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think anybody ever says hello apart from Obi-Wan Kenobi. And maybe that's his word and nobody else is allowed to use it or something. I don't know now. That's confused me completely.
Yeah, I'm stunned. I'm thinking, yeah, you're right. And it's a weird thing. There's no kids in Star Wars, is it? The first episode 4.
No. There's no younglings.
No younglings. That's it, younglings.
Yeah. Darth Vader hasn't killed them all yet.
Shh, you just spoil it.
Yeah, sorry about that. Apologies.
Oh, it's already happened, doesn't it?
Oh, it has already happened, so it's not a spoiler, even though the film comes out after this one, but it happened before.
Who cares about the details? But it's all right.
Well, we found out last time that Legos. I'm doing it again. Lego got the rights for all of this before the films even came out. Going back to The Other Side of Midnight, the film neither of us have ever heard of, and probably nobody has, it only made 10% of what Star Wars did.
Who looks stupid now? Who's laughing now?
Yeah. I've never heard of this film at all. I've never heard of that film, The Other Side of Midnight. That could be anything.
I'll Google it now. Let's have a look.
Yeah, have a look. I couldn't even tell you if it was a comedy, a romance, a western.
All right, I'm looking it up. The Other Side of Midnight. It sounds crap. It sounds crap. Even do you know what? Even a space kind of wherever crap Star Wars sounded like on paper, it sounds better at least.
Yeah, give it a go. Maybe that's what people did though. Like This Other Side of Midnight.
That could be it.
Terrible.
Maybe that's the reason Star Wars is so popular. Is because of how crap The Other Side of Midnight was. Imagine being the worst film ever. That bad.
And you gave birth to Star Wars from your terrible film.
Yeah. There's a lesson to be learned there.
I'm not entirely certain what the lesson is, but I'm sure we'll get there eventually. But actually, going back to what this whole fun fact was about, imagine being, you and I are too young to remember this, but imagine being about 14, 15, 18, 20 years old and going in and seeing that film for the first time, knowing nothing about it and how amazing seeing that film must have been like.
Yeah.
It must have just blown your mind, because what was the closest thing to it? The original Superman, had that come out the year before?
Was it a year before?
I think so, 76.
I wonder about this because I keep getting the Star Wars and Superman themed tunes mixed up.
What the
No, it's like Superman is. What was Superman again? Do you see they blend in perfectly at that point?
Are they both by John Williams?
Yeah. I think so. What a hack!
He's not done much work since those two films, has he?
No, and look at Jaws. Dun 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 dun.
Does he only use two keys on the piano?
But I think he uses 2 boxing gloves. And he uses one of those keyboards from Big. He probably did the soundtrack to that as well.
Oh, what, by jumping up and down on them? Did they play chopsticks in that?
Oh yeah, probably. But John Williams, he's like he probably just jumps, rolls about, rubs his head on the floor. Dun 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 dun. There we go. They all blend in.
There is a tempo. I believe that's the term. I don't.
Yeah, I think it was the tempo of doom, wasn't it?
Tempo. What's Indiana Jones? There
we go. Same thing. He did that as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
All the same. He uses all the same notes, but he puts them in a different order. I suppose that's what music is, but you get my point.
That is exactly what music,
Yeah.
writing, maths.
Yeah, let's not get bogged down in all the details.
But yeah, that is how music works. I like this fact. Princess Leia and Obi-Wan Kenobi never actually met in the film.
They didn't, did they? Because even when the first time she sees is when they're running away, and he's like, "Hello, Darth."
Yeah, hello, Darth. So
Hello, Darth.
in theory, she never knows that her signal got through to him because she never knows what he looked like. So she sent it to Obi-Wan Kenobi. She may think that Han Solo is Obi-Wan Kenobi in her head.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm having trouble even figuring out the details running through it because she got the thing. But he saw it inside the little house, didn't he? Luke Skywalker's house.
Yes,
She hadn't seen him since she was the day she was born.
Yeah, exactly. So
you can forgive her. You can forgive her for that, then I suppose.
But they could have wound her up by saying Chewbacca is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, might as well. He's been living in the rocks for years, and he's grown hair and put on some shorts.
But hang on a second. I'm going slightly off topic here, but doesn't Chewbacca know Obi-Wan Kenobi from the prequel films?
No, he's not in the prequels, is he?
I'm sure he's in the third one. No, that's Yoda. He knows Yoda because he meets Yoda. This is where all these films get confused. Why would you start at number 4 in a series of films?
I would have thought it's a perfect place to start.
Would you?
No, but I can see what it made sense. As far like the story being so massive, that would have been an 8-hour film. May as well split her up. The thing is, that's where Star Wars starts. So like, obviously, that's where you started, isn't it?
Exactly. I really like this fact because it's something which happened and it's been the same ever since for just a reason. All the stormtroopers are left-handed.
What? No way.
Yep.
I never noticed that. Really?
They all carry their guns in their left hand.
So every one of them. Oh, I suppose.
The reason is I think they used a Bren gun because all the guns are old Second World War props from the 20th Century Fox prop department, aren't they? So they're old Bren guns with the magazines taken off, but they've still got the bulge on the side. Right. So they can only be held one way against the armor. So they had worked out they all had to be left-handed and carry them in their left hands.
God, I never noticed. Now you say that, I'm going to have to look back. So all the stormtroopers are cack-handed. Now it makes sense why they can't shoot properly.
I don't know if that might actually be the whole. I've asked this before why they can't ever shoot straight how they manage to take over the world, the universe.
Yeah.
Is this the reason why?
I think it is. I think we've cracked it. We all know left-handed people barely function in life as it is, let alone with a stormtrooper's gun. So makes sense.
Yeah, they're all lefties. And this one I think you're gonna really like. The Jawas language.
You call that language?
Call that because I know you like a Jawa.
I do.
On a Sunday.
Delicious
on toast. The language is actually Zulu and then sped up.
Really?
Yeah.
So Utini is an actual word?
Yes.
What does it mean?
I don't know. I didn't look that up.
What language is it again? Zulu?
Zulu. And it's electronically sped up, so it's probably double speed.
How slow do these Zulus talk?
I don't know. But yeah, the Wutini is actually a real word.
So in the real language is Wutini. It's like a chant.
Yeah, Wutini.
I like the little Jawas. Before they start shooting, they're like sneaking around, go like, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's all real language.
Wow. So I'm pretty fluent there now. I could be like, and like they'd give you a cup of coffee or a McDonald's or something, probably.
Well, yeah, probably if you went to wherever, South Africa.
The Zulus are not from South Africa, are they?
Is it Zimbabwe?
I don't know. It's a big country, Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a large country, and wherever the Zulu nation. Well, I don't even know if there's still. It was a tribe wasn't it?
Is it a place called Zulu?
Is there Zululand?
Something like that, isn't it?
I'm sure there was some place called Zululand, but they may.
It could have been a cartoon, though, couldn't it? For all we know, like we're not experts or any of this.
I think it might be. Our expertise is not geography, as we're clearly showing here.
We are talking about Star Wars and Jawas. I don't think they exist either. Well, but they do now, but we don't. Zulus are Jawas.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that one. And Greedo's language.
Yeah.
Wana, or whatever he says. You probably know this. Is Quechua a South American language played backwards?
Yes.
Yeah.
What if we could just maybe we can invoke the devil or something by speaking these Guido language and playing backwards in the edit?
So it's forwards.
Yeah.
But it goes back to our cut. There must be an original cut now with Greedo's language the right way round.
But he's moving backwards.
No. So we've got Greedo's language is the right way round.
So how is he walking forward and speaking backwards?
Because they've taken his language out and put it back around the right way.
So how is he acting backwards?
He's not acting backwards. He's acting forwards.
Right.
And then they've taken the language and put it the other way round.
Okay, so does that mean handshot first?
Well, this is what I'm getting at. There's a cut of this film somewhere where you've got Darth Vader talking like a pirate, R2-D2 talking like Kenny Baker. You've got the Jawas are talking Zulu, and Greedo's language is now, we know, is a different language. So in theory, all of these people had to speak for people to engage with them using their English language. So there must be a whole film completely different to what we know of.
No wonder it was a mess. Can you imagine being the translator for that film? George Lucas must have been ripping his beard hair out. No wonder he's got a big neck.
Big neck. Maybe now we know why he went to Hawaii.
Yeah, well, don't blame him. Chill out for a bit.
He's like, I can't be dealing with this anymore.
Steve, come here. Can you believe these people, especially the Jawas,
talking too quickly? The men are just talking normal Zulu language, but they're talking all sped up.
I don't. And you've got a bloody Greedo walking around backwards, like he's gone backwards in time. It's ridiculous. It can't work under these conditions.
Exactly. We've got Alec Guinness just randomly going around saying hello to people, thinking that's his new trademark.
Yeah. Hello. No wonder he picked an easy word. Don't blame him. No wonder he hated the film. Do you know, I hate Star Wars.
Well, after hearing all of this going on.
Yeah.
You've got a war brewing on the Libyan-Tunisian border. You've got people wanting Chewbacca to wear a pair of jean short shorts.
I think Aunt Beru burned herself. I think they both did.
Just to get out of it.
Just to finish the good. And please end it all. What a slow way to go. It's worth it.
It does make a lot of sense. All of what we've said is actually strangely true and makes a lot of sense.
I learned a lot about Star Wars from this. Thank you, Ian.
That's the end of our show tonight. Join us next time where we'll be covering another topic. And good night. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell.